What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning into another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great night. We are 6 days away from Eagles football. Let's effing go, baby. I am ready to run through these walls. I can tell you that right now. Sunday at 4:25, it cannot come soon enough. But I appreciate each and every one of you taking the time tonight, tuning in live, watching this later even. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. We're going to go through it all. The offseason roster moves, whether that's the roster, the practice squad, the coaches, all that stuff. We'll go through the cap space, the current, the future, talk about the draft picks in the future, talk about the roster and the practice squad along with the depth chart, injured reserve, and then, of course, we'll talk about the 2023 schedule. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for the all-season recap, season preview. Let's go. All you sickos have been tuning in throughout this all season, keeping you up to date with everything that has happened. But let's go through it all in one shot here. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, how you're feeling about the season, whatever we're talking about here. Does not matter. You guys let me know. But in case you missed it, posted it. But Braden Mann finally brought in for a tryout from the Steelers. And Brandon Smith, the linebacker we talked about the other day, that was waived from the Panthers, that I thought could be an intriguing piece. So maybe we sign one of these guys to the practice squad, but a few punters now in the building. So the Eagles definitely looking to find someone, and, well, it's about that time. So I'm not somebody that's losing my mind over it, because I think what's going to happen is you'll sign someone, they can punt for the games. Maybe you elevate Sippos just to be the holder, just so there's no mistakes there. But look, obviously, they want someone else because they let go of Sippo. So we'll see. Hopefully, somebody shows them what they've got here. But look, this roster is ever changing. Things are always going to be moving around, and I will keep you up to date throughout the season. Do not fear. And tomorrow, it's behind enemy lines. And then Wednesdays are the initial injury report for all teams. So I'll have that for you. Each day, I'll have an injury report dropping for you. Those aren't live, but you get a quick hitter, a few-minute video with all of the injuries for the Eagles and their opponent each week, each day. And then Friday, the game status report. Saturday, the practice squad elevations. Everything you'll need to know, I will keep you up to date. And we'll have the top 10 matchups. All that stuff will be thrown in there in the chaos. So let's go, man. We're here. We made it. It's been a long road. Appreciate you tuning in. My man, William, let's have it go. Doing well. Hope you and the family are well. Hope you're all having a happy Labor Day. My man, Drew, let's go. Appreciate you, my dude. Bringing your euros in the house. So that was really cool for me to see. I was like, I don't think I've ever gotten foreign currency here, but you're a German now, man. But I appreciate you, dude. Love you, man, and hope you're doing well, settling in there. But we're here to rock this baby, and look, it's been such a long road, this countdown, everything that's been happening. But look, let's go. F work, F it all. I'm ready to run through walls, and these games, they're going to change the outlook of life. We know everything is going to dictate what the hell's going on here. So let's effing go birds, baby. So, we're true sickos in these parts. And look, that's what it's all about here, man. So I'm all about it, and appreciate you tuning in. But let's get this thing rocking and rolling here. And we're going to start off with the Eagles roster and off-season moves. I'll get into the practice squad and things like that here. But this was kind of the overall what had happened here. So last year, we were 14-3. We lost some key pieces here. Miles Sanders, Isaac Seumalo on the offense. Then the defense, Hargrave, Kaiser White, TJ Edwards, Epps, Gardner Johnson. And you heard people losing their minds, freaking out. It's all over. But then you see the Eagles go ahead and draft. Whew, what a phenomenal draft it was. And then go out and add all of these pieces. And these are just some of the key ones. There are other pieces that were very key. There were undrafted free agents you are going to see here shortly. So that was just some of the stuff that went down this offseason. This was from before, if you guys remember this, added Albert O into that. But you can see here, we also changed 2 coordinators in Brian Johnson and Sean Desai. And look, Steichen and Gannon got themselves head coaching jobs. So you bring in a guy that, was right behind Steichen. This offense going to keep rolling, going to have its own flavor with Brian Johnson here. But then Desai, you've got the defense. And look, we talk about it, a lot of similarities, but he's going to do a lot of things different from Gannon and a lot of better things where we're not going to want to jump out of a window. So excited, it would be an understatement for this defense. Now, the special teams, I know a lot of people really get on Michael Clay there. So we'll see, man. But let's rock and roll here. We see the coaches now. Some of the players, if you're wondering what happened to them, you're not seeing them. These are a couple of the things that did go down here. So we talk about the Colts and Cardinals getting Steichen and Gannon. Well, they take 2 players in Sills and Kayvon Wallace, and then 3 players that were also let go, waived this past week here. They are now on practice squads elsewhere. Tyree Jackson with the Giants, Tyrese Robinson there with the Vikings, and then Janarius Robinson with the Raiders. And there are a few names that are still out there that, haven't done anything. But, there are, I think it's Tyreek Maddox Williams has a tryout with the Texans coming up. And then Johnny King today was working out, I believe, with the Giants. So some of these guys, looking for a home. But if you're wondering where they are, that is what went down. And that's just a quick recap of what had happened over this offseason, where some of these players went. If you're wondering, you haven't seen what's been going on, wanted to give you a recap there. But next, I'm going to get into the cap space with these players. I talk about the change. I'll touch on that here in a second. We'll also talk about the draft picks coming up. I want you to understand why I feel we're building a dynasty here, why I think this team is not only set to win the Super Bowl here, but we talked about this a few months ago. And I'm going to back it up here by saying how he did exactly what we talked about. You talk about free agency, the draft, what he needed to do, he did. He got Jalen Carter. We talked about that. He did everything and then some, dude. So very excited about that. But you talk about with cap space, how he's able to do all these things. Well, I also mentioned, in the offseason is the top 51 players. That is what the salary cap consists of. Now, with it being the, regular season, it will change. Now it's all 53 players count against it. Dead money. IR players, practice squad players, all of those things are going to count against the cap. So I told you it was going to change, and I did some math, did it myself. So you're going to see with all of those things what the Eagles cap space is. But first and foremost, let me show you all 53, baby. I'm a true sicko, man. So here you go. There is the 53 players that are on the Eagles roster, and there are their cap hits. So you can see, anybody in green here is new to the roster this season, whether that be draft, trade, signing, whatever it may be. But, man, Howie Roseman, you are a stud. And you see at the bottom right there, Eli Ricks and Mario Goodrich. Right now, if you were to look at the cap, it's only counting the top 51 right now, not those 2. But I'm going to include them in my math. We're going to talk about that here in a second. But this is for you to be able to see everybody what their cap hit is, what is going to be against the, cap here. And we let a bunch of guys that were, part of that top 51 go. So, that's part of the process here, how you're creating money. And, some of these other cap liabilities I want to show you here, the dead money that I speak of, and, the injured reserve, the practice squad. You're going to see all the people that are there. But, dead money here, look, at $56.8 million. And you'll always see people, the Eagles have the most dead money. They're always freaking out. It's like, do you even know what that means? And look, we talk about it all the time. Obviously, Howie kicking the can down the road with this dead money. But look, it obviously counts against the cap. You don't want that. That's $56 million you could have been spending elsewhere. And you've got Fletch is costing you over $15 million. Hargrave is still costing you almost $12 million. Brandon Brooks is almost costing you $10 million. Yeah, that's right, Brandon Brooks. And you got guys like Samalu, Bradbury, even Reagor, still $1.8 million cap hit. But this is what we talk about. Kaiser White's on there, Anthony Harris, guys that when they sign, Howie puts on, those extra years. And we talk about those dummy years so that you can spread out those cap hits, right? And people get upset about it, but it's like, dude, let him do what he's doing because it helps us get those players for when we need them. And yeah, you got to work around it those next years, but don't worry. We've got money. Howie knows what he's doing, how to move people around. We talk about it each offseason. You saw this season, I talked about restructuring Lane Johnson, Darius Slay, all those things happen. So Howie knows more than I do. He's going to be ahead of the curve here. So you talk about that dead money. It is what it is, man. Don't get worked up about it. But then you see the IR. And look, we talked about this. Trey Sermon, he reverted to the IR. So guys like him, and, we talked about Charleston Rambo was there, Sean Bradley, Zach McPherson, Roderick Johnson. So all those guys together are counting $3.78 million there against the cap. And then the practice squad. Now, this number is going to fluctuate, and we just added 2, got rid of 2, but it's not going to be that much. but you're looking at almost $4 million there for the practice squad. So again, as I told you, once this time comes, the Eagles salary cap is going to drop, and you're going to see, obviously, we do not have that space that we had in the offseason, but these are all things we're very aware of that are coming, and you'll see people making articles, doing things, freaking out, and it's like, look, man, just if you knew what was coming, it would make it a lot easier. But it is what it is. But let's take a gander here. Now, this is going to be with all 53, and those other liabilities I just had shown you there, all going against cap. This is the Eagles cap space after all of it. So this is what you have to work with here, almost $3.7 million. And look, people tell you, obviously that's not a lot, but you were able to add all of these pieces this offseason, and I feel very confident in this roster. And if you wanted to trade for someone, if you want to sign for someone, you saw those top 50, well, all 53 players, right? All the people we signed are under $2 million cap hits. So don't think that Howie can't, put those dummy years on and add some more dead space in further years. So, and people freak out, well, then you don't have money. And it's like, well, we do. So you see that we almost have 3.7 here this year right now. Let's take a gander at the coming years here. Next year, over $54 million, 2025, 64, and then 92. Now, we talk about all those things that are going to carry over, the dead money, all these things come into play, but don't worry, I've got you covered each offseason, breaking all of this stuff down, keeping you ahead of the curve. So you know that the Eagles are just fine and dandy. So they want to add some players. They've got money for days, and they've got draft picks as well. Now, we traded Albert O the other day, but we also gave up one of our 6th and took one of their 7s. So, look, you see this year, this upcoming year, we've got 2 second-rounders and 5, right? That's 5 right there, 5th rounders. Oh, my Lord. So 10 picks total. And then the next year, you got a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th. So no 4th and no 6th, but you got 3 7s there. So, look, Howie's going to be moving things around. All of that stuff will change. But that gives you more of an idea of what I'm talking about when I say this team is building a dynasty, because they've got the future set up too. It's not just right now, and we're going to look at those pieces, the players that have been put in place, and that's also very important. So you see all that other stuff, but next we're going to get into what this team looks like. I'm going to show you, I have it all updated, the practice squad, the roster. You're going to know every single player, their number, everything about them that you need to know. We're going to get right into that, but let me check out these comments really quick here. And Nina in the building, let's go. I don't know if I was following someone different, but got to see the dancing video, followed you on Twitter again. I'm like, we're just going back and forth here. But, happy Labor Day to you. Hope you and the family had a great day. I'm pumped up as hell, ready to go, man. Eagles football 6 days away. I really like getting ready, all the graphics this past week, like doing things, trying to be prepared, because, behind enemy lines starts tomorrow. Like, this is crazy. We're going to be talking about the Eagles' opponent. It's right here. Oh, my God. It's been such a long off season, but all you sickos have been here, and I cannot thank you enough for that. So happy Labor Day to you. Thank you for tuning in. Love to see the love being shared in here. Let's go. Let's go, Birds. And, appreciate all of you taking the time. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're staying safe out there. And, we're going to talk about him here in a second. But, look, I like him. I am a fan for sure. What is going on, my man? Twisted and Liz in here, and Daniel as well. We've got a party going on this Labor Day. Let's go. And, man, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Hope all of you guys are having a great holiday here. Daniel, putting out as much content as I possibly can is my life. Dude, it's been nuts. So, it's been stopping me from doing some other things that need to get done, but we're all going to make it work. The season's coming. All these things are going to get done, and hopefully you're enjoying all this content I'm trying to pump out for you guys. But this is the big kahuna here, all the information you need to know for this season. So let's keep this train rolling. Love to hear your thoughts. But Liz, Twisted, Daniel, really appreciate you guys. And Nina, Drew, of course, everybody else out there. You guys are awesome. Thank you for tuning in. Love to hear your thoughts on how you're feeling about this team. Are you with me? You getting those dynasty vibes yet? But let's look at this practice squad vibe that I'm getting. And that's, some good players, right? So you add Tyre Phillips. You've got LaRaven Clark here now, and 4 receivers, 4 offensive linemen, and a tight end. I was talking about this in the earlier video. Expect the merry-go-round as always here. And now that you can keep 16, different weeks, different injuries, different things happening, that's just the way it's going to be. So you can see here some newer guys. If you've missed any of the videos you want to break down on them, go check it out. Everybody's got one. The Raven Clarks, Phillips, all of them. But I like Covey there. You need a punt returner, elevate him. Maybe they want to try Devin Allen as a kick returner again. Not sure, but maybe he keeps doing good in practice. They elevate him. Nada, continue to grow, learn. I'm glad he is there. But then on the defensive side of the ball, getting rid of Kyron Johnson, I was a little sour about that. You guys know I'm a fan of his. But look, he's somebody that's versatile and can play that edge rusher, can play that off-ball linebacker. We like his versatility, but with him getting banged up, it's unfortunate, and you hope that, he can do some things. You look at Brandon Smith, the guy that, they just were working out. Maybe they bring him in instead of Kyron Johnson. I like both of them, actually. If, we don't bring back Kyron, if you get Brandon Smith. But you can see here, Morrow, Van Sumeren, different kind of linebackers there. But, I think that Van Sumeren, he's kind of like them, but they're trying to use him as an off-ball linebacker. Morrow, I think you could elevate him if you feel you need some more depth at linebacker. Garner, and then McCollum. So I like the practice squad. I know people feel a certain way about that final piece, that being Aaron Zippos. But as I've mentioned, maybe you just want to have him here as the holder until the new punter gets it down with him. I'm fine with that. Working on things in practice, somebody needs to be there. So that's why he's here on the practice squad. Maybe we sign one of these guys, Braden Mann, Gillikin, O'Donnell, whatever. But maybe one of them gets signed. He's only on the practice squad for a week, maybe not even. Who knows? But just stay positive, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into this active roster, baby. 3 quarterbacks on this roster. And led by Jalen Hurts, the MVP runner-up, all-pro. Man, he's about to have a special season again, building on that development we've talked about for a few years here. Really excited to continue watching that grow, watching the fans learn about him, becoming fans of his, because it's been a tough road, but happy to see everybody on board now, ready to see Jalen Hurts continue to dominate. Watch Tanner McKee's development here and hope that we never need to use Mariota till the end of the season when there's only 2 games left. We have already clinched. Let's effing go. Now at running back, you've seen the videos. They're saying we're not even top 10. I'm saying this is going to be a top 3 running back corp in the NFL. Running the ball, catching the ball. Let's effing go. You've got your pass catching back added in DeAndre Swift, your power back and Rashad Penny. Let's go. Kenny Gainwell, the jack of all trades. Boston Scott, the same. And I really am excited about this room, and I think big things are coming here. So, there's a lot of talk of adding different people, but I don't think you need to add a damn thing. I think very dominant, and I think this whole room, I've talked about it. What they've added in the passing game is going to be enough to just get people excited. This offense is going to dominate. And, when you've got wide receivers like we do, and we talked all offseason, maybe you just keep 4 because I'm perfectly fine with it. And I've heard people, what if an injury happens? Well, obviously, we're not trading, building our roster that if, you already have the depth here. So something happens, you got guys on practice squad, you make a trade, you do what you need to. Right now, I like what we have here. Quez is healthy. He's the speedster. Alameda, dude, this is a jack of all trades. He can play inside, outside. He's only 5'8", but this dude is talented. Reminds me a little bit of Avant, just sure-handed, and I love that he can help us in the return game. I would have him back there at punt returner. I would have Rashad Penny as kick returner. That's just my opinion, but look, it is what it is. But that wide receiver room, quite excited. Hoping Devontae and AJ both going over 1,200 yards this year. Let's effing go. But you've got a guy in Dallas Goedert who's going to be eating into those yards. So hoping he stays healthy, dominates. The Eagles make a trade for Albert, Okuwebunam, whatever. And Grant Calcaterra, Jack Stoll still here. We'll see if that continues, if we hold on to 4, or if Albert O can push out Calcaterra, or maybe even Stoll. But Albert O is more of a receiving type tight end, that F-type guy. So you'd think that maybe he would push out Calcaterra. But, hey, maybe the Eagles like him enough that they keep 4. Only time will tell. Now on the offense, kept 9 linemen, and the one surprise to me was Sua Opeta over Josh Sills. But other than that, a great, line here, great depth. I feel very comfortable. Clearly, Juergens in there between Lane and Jason. That would be great. Hopefully he stands up. If not, who cares? Because Steen is right there. He is the guard of the future. Juergens is the center of the future. But you got some great depth, with Driscoll. He can play tackle and guard. Steen can play tackle and guard. Fred Johnson can do the same, but he's really, a left tackle you can feel confident in if anything happens. And then Opeta, your guard depth. So You've got depth across the board. I feel very, very confident in this offense, and I'm very, very excited about it. So, I mean, let me know how you're feeling about this offense. We're about to jump into the defense here, and I think that, you guys know. Look, I know people feel a certain way about the multiple scheme defense, not blitzing every play, but I don't care. I'm telling you, people are going to love Sean Desai, and you've seen all the videos and all the things I've tried to do to get people on board with this notion, because I'm telling you, this defense is going to be fun. We're going to create pressure, going to break that sack record, again, be number one against the pass, but this time we're going to improve against the run. And, well, I'm going to tell you why here in a second, because, we've added some pieces that get me pretty excited here to stop that run. So, let's effing go here. Go Birds, my dude. Appreciate you tuning in, Lil. Grateful Gab, appreciate you tuning in. And yes, it is a top tier running back room, and people aren't ready for what's about to happen, but don't worry, they'll get on board soon enough. So, yes, Grateful Gab agrees with me, and I'm telling you, everybody's going to get on this notion. I promise you, dude. When I said that, last year, I said we're going to make this Super Bowl. Look, it sucks we didn't win it, but we did it. We built on a time where people said that we were going backwards. We were going to be the next Browns, the Jets, this, that, the other thing. And it's like, no, dude, we're going up. We're building the dynasty. Now, clearly you needed to win to get it started. So this year, we're winning it. We're getting it started, and I'm very, very confident in it, because not only what we have, in veterans that were brought back, but the future that has been added here. And you look at guys, obviously last year, ecstatic about Jordan Davis. This year, Jalen Carter. I mean, a couple years ago, Milton Williams. And I like Ojomo. Marlon Pelotu has been great. And then Kentavia Street was a great free agent addition. Fletcher Cox being brought back as the veteran help, really been helping out with Carter and Davis. And, it's great to have that here. So I think that this is going to be the most dominant interior defensive line in the league. And people can hate on the defense all they want, but I promise you they will be the biggest fans when they start seeing those odd fronts, even fronts. This defense, just like it was the last couple of years, switching around, that's what gets me so excited. That's what I love about that Vic Fangio style. But I think Sean Desai's style is going to really add something special here. And, man, those interior dudes, they are going to dominate. And when you have guys like that, it obviously makes things much easier for the guys outside. And, Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat, and backing him up, Nolan Smith, Brandon Graham, Derek Barnett, Patrick Johnson. Yeah, that gets me pretty excited. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think I have to say much more. I think Reddick and Sweat, we all know, are going to dominate. Smith and Graham dominate as well. Let's go break that sack record. And linebackers, talk about Nolan Smith can help out a little bit here, in due time. But you've got Dean. I think Cunningham will be the other starter there, but Christian Ellis can come in on passing plays, be more of that help. Or you could have a guy like Terrell Edmonds, maybe Justin Evans, Sidney Brown come in as that third safety instead of a second linebacker. So expect to see a lot of that stuff. So you don't have much at linebacker right now, but we also talked about possibly elevating Nicholas Morrow, though. So don't fear, man. Howie, Nick Sirianni, they know what they're doing here. And then at cornerback, we talk about how much, Reddick, I'm looking for 18 sacks this year. I'm looking for Sweat to get over 12. I want Nolan Smith to get over 8. I want, Brandon Graham to get over 10 again. I think that these guys, it's going to be hard for everybody to eat feast, but let's go. We were the first team in NFL history to have 4 players over 10-plus sacks. They were over 12 or 11. So I'm pretty excited about it, not going to lie to you. Let's rock and roll here. But it makes it easier on these corners. And, well, we've got the best trio in the game here in Slay, Bradbury, and Maddox. Made it hard for us. And McPherson was going to make this roster, but unfortunately he gets hurt. That opens the door for Mario Goodrich and Eli Ricks, and that could be a blessing in disguise. So never want to see anybody hurt, and best of luck to Zach McPherson. But, yeah, I'm quite excited about the future of, well, pretty much all those young guys, Job, Ringo, Goodrich, Ricks. So best of luck to them. They get to learn under 3 greats here, and, yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Now, safety, I know some people are concerned here too. But I love Reed Blankenship. You guys know the pre-draft process. I was obsessed with getting Sidney Brown. We got him. I love it. But you've got 2 vets in Terrell Edmonds and Justin Evans, starting experience that can help both these young men grow. And I think those 2 are the future, Brown and Blankenship. So I'm quite excited. And I know people feel it needs an upgrade, but you don't have to have all pros at every level. And one day, Brown could be an all-pro, maybe Blankenship, who knows. But, I think that there's a lot of promise here. It's not just the veterans. It's the mixture of both that gets me so excited about this team. And then, of course, the special teams. You saw Sippos was on the practice squad. So, yeah, as you know, we don't have a punter right now. other than Sipo's on the practice squad. So Jake Elliott, Rick Lovato, those are our only 2 special teamers, but that makes up that 53-man roster. So you got to look at all of the, roster by position there. But don't worry, I'm going to show you the depth chart so you get a better feel for all of that I just threw at you there. But a lot of excitement for me, and I'm hoping that everybody else is starting to feel that way. And I know you guys are, but you see that just the negativity is always so funny, man, because people just don't know what they're talking about half the time. And it's just, or they're just angry. And it's like, all right, man, and I don't know how people engage with that stuff, but hey, best of luck to them. I'm going to keep getting excited, I'll tell you. But yeah, dude, he's like, it's got to be probably like 2 a.m., 1 a.m. for him, isn't it, Drew? You sick son of a, but we love you, dude, and appreciate your dedication here. EN, appreciate you tuning in. And he sure was. Pretty much all of our draft picks were steals. It was a great, great draft. So, but I agree with you there. This defense, it's going to dominate, and he sure is. Terrell Edmonds, higher PFF. Well, we talked about that when we signed him, dude. Those guys did better because of the front, and this front is better. So, again, people just really don't know what they're talking about. Cunningham struggles in coverage, but he is a tackling machine. And you guys heard me, this free agency period, that was the linebacker I thought we should add, and he did. So, yeah, I'm with you. I'm excited about it too, man. I think that this roster is going to win the Super Bowl. And as I've been saying all offseason, they're going to be repeating it. I can assure you of that. All the hate's going to stop. Everybody's going to be the biggest fan. I can assure you of that. Write it down. But now let's take a look at this thing as a depth chart here so you get a feel for what's walking out here on Sundays. And again, I'll keep you up to date with all of the injuries, all of the things that will be changing throughout the week. So you will see. But quick recap. Remember, 2 guys can be elevated each week, and each player can only be elevated 3 times where it doesn't count against the roster. So they don't have to go through the waiver period or anything like that. They could just be brought up for game day. So maybe you do that with a returner. Maybe you do that with a linebacker. I mean, whatever the punter we talked about. So maybe it's Morrow and Sipos. Maybe it's Covey and Sipos, whatever. Maybe, you don't do anything. I don't know, but you can do that, but just want you to keep that in mind. So if you feel there's a certain area the Eagles, could add to, they're thinking that too. And those are the players they can do it with. But here you go. And we talked about this, obviously Hurts, QB1, baby, and he's going to rock this ship, dude. We're going to kick some ass. And adding DeAndre Swift, anybody in green here, this is their first year here with the Eagles. And look, you've got Swift and Penny added with Kenny Gainwell, and I think that's going to be a 3-headed monster. Maybe Scott sprinkles in a little bit there, but oh my, just those 3. Excited. I stayed away from them in fantasy because I just don't know each week. I think they all can shine. But A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, Alameda, we talked about that receiving core. 1A, 1B, 3A, 3B. I think they all can get theirs, and Jalen Hurts has got some weapons. Excited. And then you've got tight end Dallas Goedert. Got some other intriguing pieces. Want to see what Alberto can bring to the table here. But you've got the best line in all of football, regardless of Sayamalu leaving. Cam Jurgens going in there. I do not care. I think that still the best line in football. And again, you've got Steen there who could play guard, he can play tackle. Fred Johnson can play guard. I mean, versatility is the name of the game. Why you only had to keep 9, but there are 4 offensive linemen on the practice squad, as you saw. So, hey, if you need to elevate someone in case of emergency, that's what you can do. But that is the offense there. Now the defense, always keep in mind, I show you 12 starters so that you can see the 5-man fronts, but also understand 4-man fronts with the nickel corner. And it doesn't have to be a 4-man front with the nickel corner, just giving you the idea of what that looks like. So, yeah, I know Fletch should be listed their starter, but I really feel his snaps are going to be like Brandon Graham, where, he's just a great rotational piece where these younger guys get the feast. Everybody stays fresh, and I love it, man. You've got a Jomo to blow to Cox Street as depth to Carter, Davis, Williams. Oh, my God. And you look at those edge rusher positions, Sweat with Graham and Barnett behind him, and then Reddick with Nolan Smith and Patrick Johnson. That is the best line there. All 13 of those guys, that's quite a rotation, and they're going to be used, and they're going to abuse offenses. So looking forward to that. You see the defense at linebacker. Talked about Nolan Smith helping out there. So great. And some of those safeties, you talk about dime backers doing things different that, Sean Desai is definitely going to bring some things to the table. So excited there. The trio of corners we talked about, love it. Love, the depth there behind him. And then the safeties. Look, I put Sidney Brown in. I don't think day one he'll be the starter. I think it'll be Edmonds, to be real with you. But I've got Sidney Brown in there because I'm so excited about his future and ready to see him kick some ass. And then it'll be sooner rather than later. And even if he's not starting, I've told you there are packages for him that he can be in there as that third safety, a second linebacker per se. So I'm excited about it. Now, the depth chart for the special teams here, I filled out myself because, well, clearly they don't have a punter. Suppose, again, will be used if need, but we'll see if we sign anyone. But give me the new guys as punt returner and kick returner. I want Alameda as the punt returner. I want Rashad Penny as the kick returner. If you're elevating Covey for punt returner, whatever. But you've got Devontae Smith in case of emergency, or you just want to use him for a big play as punt returner. Scott can kick return. He's probably going to be the guy. Quez Watkins, Kenny Gainwell, and Justin Evans. I don't know why they used him, but you got him back there in case of emergency again. But that's who's on the roster that you can use. But again, you can elevate guys from the practice squad if need be. But intriguing there to say the least. Hopefully we get some of these things answered here in the next few days. But I do have the reserves here listed, and I didn't get to finish filling this out because obviously Isaiah Rodgers can be filled in there, and I didn't even get to finish like the coloring and stuff. But I had so much stuff going on for the show that I was like, whatever, dude, they get it. So you see the injury reserve we talked about, it costing maybe $3.5 million for the IR. But you see Bradley, Roderick Johnson, McPherson, Rambo, and Sermon all there. And if they get healthy, they can be waived, and with an injury settlement, and they can go elsewhere. This, that, the other thing, whether they have dead money, whatever. We'll talk about all that. But I love the Isaiah Rodgers edition. If you guys missed that show, go check that out. We talked about adding him for the future, a return man, but also Avonte Maddox, Zach McPherson, both being free agents. So look, maybe a guy that's starting at nickel corner. But I really love that addition. Super fast. I like that kid. I really do. He had 58.1, I believe. Dude, if I can remember this, that's wild. But I think his completion percentage given up was 58.1. Don't quote me on that, but we talked about that last week or whatever when we signed him. And man, it's nice to get a guy like that. It really sucks that he's obviously suspended this year because we could use a return man. But hey, it is what it is. But I love that addition. He'll be on that suspended list there. But whoa, that was it, man. That was all the depth chart, roster stuff, cap stuff. But now we're going to take a quick gander at this schedule, and I want you to tell me, and I want to keep hearing what you think about this roster, all this other stuff. But I want to know how you're feeling about this season. Do you think, look, I've told you, I think the lowest is 15 wins. I know that sounds wild, but I think this team's better than last year, and I think they're going to whoop some ass. So that's what's about to happen here. But let's take a look at this schedule here. Young we are, and that's what we talk about. We have great depth here. We have great veterans, young guys that are here for the future, for the now. I mean, there's just so much going on that, hey, man, let them keep hating. We'll keep educating. But let's take a look here at the schedule coming up here this year. And, I'm pretty excited. And I know there's tough stretches. I don't care, man. I really feel we can go into this bye undefeated. And look, I think beat the Patriots, let the Vikings come into our house short week, whoop their ass, whoop the Bucks, Commanders, Rams. Jets will be a tough matchup. Dolphins is tough. And clearly any divisional matchup's tough. But you get the Commanders again, second time, and then the Cowboys right before the bye. But it's at home. So like to see us whoop their ass, go into that, man, 8-0, I think, or 9-0, I'm sorry. I think that would be awesome. And then you've got that tough stretch, that everybody, oh, yeah. And look, it's great. But the Chiefs are going to find out when the field's not wet what happens. And the Bills, they can come get it. Niners, the same goes to you, baby. I cannot wait for that. You're going to have to get a lot of excuses ready for that game. And then we get to go to the Cowboys' house, punch them in the mouth. Then the Seahawks. And then on Christmas, we've got the Giants, and then finish off with Gannon coming home. Oh, boy, that's going to be fun. So looking forward to that, and then finish off the season going into the Giants' house and punching them in the mouth. So, again, to me, you can win 16 games here, man. You could go undefeated if you want. You stay healthy. That's great. All I want is to win the Super Bowl, and I think, the least I would say would be 15 wins. That's just how I feel about it. I feel that this team's winning the Super Bowl. I'm not changing that, and I still feel that they are building a dynasty here. So big things in the future, ladies and gentlemen, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I think we double moonwalk. Yeah, we're going to whoop some ass, man. I got a feeling he's going to smoke a lot of stroke. No doubt, man. Look, and I tried, you remember I went on his show last year, tried to get him on board with Hurts, tried to get everybody. You remember last couple years, I went on a lot of shows, got a lot of heat for, trying to teach how Jalen Hurts would develop, how this defense was going to dominate, why Sirianni was a good coach, all these things, why Howie Roseman didn't need to be fired and was a great GM. I think it's all come to fruition. So we got the magic ball here, and I'm going to keep trying to spread it and get everybody on board here with this team. It's beautiful to see everybody on board here. It was unbearable the past few years. So heading into the season, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, you sickos, throughout all of this. It's been awesome. The past few years has just been nothing but pure chaos. And I've still have my diehards here. Don't get me wrong. I love all of you, but you know what I'm talking about. All of the crazies coming in here to tell me what was going on. But I think we all know how that turned out. So I love it. And you diehards that have stuck around, you new fans that have just, started tuning in. I love all of you. I cannot thank you enough. Sorry that don't have my cord, my mic, my headset. Everything's just chaos this all season. And then snapping my ankle and jacking my neck up really just made everything pure hell. But I did everything in my power to get out the best of content I could for you, working with what I've got here. But look, tomorrow it begins. You got behind enemy lines, everything you need to know about the Eagles' opponent, all the injuries they've got going on, everything you just kind of saw with the Eagles, you're going to see with the Patriots. Their recap, but a little bit shortened down, I'll be real with you. But you'll get to know everything about them, every single position, who's what, where, what. Yep, you're going to know it all. So if you're new to this channel, this happens each week, each opponent. We break down everything throughout the week, all of the injuries. Then there's the top 10 matchups on Thursday. We'll still have Fan Friday, do not fear, but the game status report as well. And then Saturday's practice squad elevations and all that stuff going on, the pregame stuff. And there's some other things I have planned for this year. So just tune in, stay tuning in, and you'll see there's going to be live ones, non-live ones. Content's going to be flying at you. You thought, the all season's crazy. Wait till the actual season starts. So can't thank you enough for continuously tuning in, for hitting that like button, subscribing, all that stuff truly helps. And I cannot thank you for helping build this bad boy. We got over 2,500, which we wanted to do before the season started. Let's get to 3,000, baby. Let's effing go. Let's build this damn thing. But I can't do it without you. So thank you again. Hope you all had a happy Labor Day, but that's all I've got for you tonight. Again, if you got anything from this, appreciate you hitting that like button. But I will be back tomorrow. It's not a live one, but if anything happens, any roster moves, anything like that, you'll get live videos on those. But I'll be dropping the behind enemy lines. You'll get everything you need to know about the Patriots. Any questions, comments throughout the week, tune in. Check out. There's playlists for everything. Injuries. Dude, you will have all the information you have ever needed. You found it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the jackpot. But that's all I've got for you tonight. I hope you all had a happy Labor Day. Thank you again. But until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there. 6 days away. And as always, say it with me now. Go Birds!